Hello, I'm Clemens of Chair Audio. I brought Jörg, a friend and collaborator, who will do a little bit of a noise performance with our new module, which you see 2 times on the screen here. It's the Analogue Waveguide. It's an analog module for physical modeling. So it's a resonator with inharmonic and harmonic spectra. But before I get into any details, I let Jörg play a little bit, maybe 5 minutes. And
yeah, 2 sentences maybe. It's all about the module today. So I'm throwing random values at the module. I will maybe talk a bit about it, what I will be doing after this. But yeah, it's all about, it goes out of or through the module, what I'm doing.
The stage is all yours, Jörg. Thanks a lot for showing the sonic possibilities of the module. Do you want to say something about the patch?
Yeah, maybe a few things. This module is brand new. It's just, I think it got finished last week, you could say. I had, I think, two evenings with it, and still trying to find some muscle memory with this module. So it's, Clemens knows this so much better than me, but I see this as a resonator that you can put impulses through, so you can make it resonate and make crazy sounds with it, I think. And then I thought, okay, I can put impulses in, but maybe I could also throw samples through. So that's what I was also doing. I have, maybe you don't see this here, but I have an iPad with some waves, sound samples that I threw through the module at one point. So yeah, and I had a little bit of delay at one point. Yeah, that's everything. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I want to give a little bit of background around how we came up with this specific idea for this module. Basically, the idea for the module was it's not ours, first of all. It came up first in 1971 by a guy called Michael Gerzon, who is, for example, the developer of ambisonics, and who was doing a lot of reverberator designs. So you could view it as a specialized reverberator for physical modeling as well. Basically, it's a feedback delay network for the people that maybe are more into that topic. Only 40 years later, Miller-Puckett came up and found that paper from 1971. It was never built, actually, until then. It was only a theoretical idea. Now, in 2011, Miller-Puckett rediscovered the paper and built a digital version in pure data, showed it to some students in the University of San Diego. And this is where later on we picked that idea up and developed that analog version, kind of transported it back to its origin. We were looking into, actually in plug-in and DSP development, we were looking for something that would generate inharmonics quite easily. And that's where we discovered this algorithm. And later on, we found that it's a very flexible algorithm that we want to actually use in a module, because with just a few parameters, you get very broad, different spectra, and you can simulate a lot of different musical instruments with that, thinking of physical audio, physical modeling sounds. And there was quite nothing in the realms of analog modules that could do quite the same. So how does it work? Basically, this consists of two delay lines. You can see one here on the left and one on the right. So you see a certain similarity of the knob row here and the knob row there. So this is actually the delay line X, is how it's called, and delay line Y. And I can feed a signal into the delay lines. I prepared a little patch here. I send a little bit of a click into the input. Maybe I will do that. Okay. Let's make this a bit more slow. And a bit less bassy, maybe. Can I? Yeah, just a click. That's what I want. And now you can see that if I adjust the gain accordingly, you can see the click is just horizontal on the display. That's because I only feed it into delay line X. So now I turn the volume down for delay line X, do this, and dial up the delay line Y. You can see it's on the Y-axis. If I turn up both, you should normally see not a spiral, but a diagonal. So built into the module is the capability to now rotate this sound on the XY plane. That's the knob in the middle. Maybe let me increase the click frequency a bit. And you can see I can rotate the sound. You can also hear that the stereo image changes. It's inherently stereo because we have two outputs. Right? So now I haven't actually used the capabilities of the delay lines yet to make repeating echoes. And that's what I will do now. I will increase the feedback of one of the delay lines. And now you hear a normal coupler strong on both speakers, left and right. It's basically a simulation of a guitar string. If I dampen that, sounds maybe a little bit like a string. Now I introduce some rotation into the signal. Now you hear phasing between left and right. And if I introduce even more rotation, you can see the signal spiraling on the display and also increasing inharmonics in the resonances. Maybe I turn up a bit the pitch. So there are two harmonic points. The zero rotation, and there's another harmonic point. It's the 180-degree rotation, which is akin to an inversion of two delay lines. And in between the 2 points is a continuum of inharmonic signals. And we can use them to simulate metallic sounds, something like plates, maybe even gongs. And this depends on two things. First, the harmonics of the resonator, but also the kind of click that I send into the module. Now I will do something that you won't see on the camera. I will change the sound of the click. And you hear different resonances appearing. If I'm lucky, I can maybe, it's the last thing I want to illustrate, try to replicate the sound of a gong. I hope I can succeed because controls are sometimes a bit tedious to find. For that, I will use a feedback path. I will automate the rotation knob in audio speed. You will hear an FM-like sound appearing. And now if I find the right resonances to excite, I get, hopefully, metallic sounds that resemble plates, strange drums, tin bottles, and things like that. So I think we are at the end of the presentation and we are open to questions. Thank you. If not, I can't see any. Ah, yeah, I see some arms raised there. Yes, please. Yes, the two knobs on the top control the two delay times of both delays. I can also, if you're interested, I can also go a little bit through the controls. I think we have some more minutes. What knobs? 3 minutes? Okay. So, these are the pitch knobs for the delays. They are synchronized right now. The right delay line follows the left one. I can unsynchronize them with this knob. And I get even more dense spectra. That's actually something I should have done to simulate the gong. I forgot. Now I have two VCFs, one for each delay line, one filter, low-pass filter. Now they are synchronized, so dialing one of the controls both. Okay. I can undo the synchronization with this knob and control the two low-pass filters independently. I can also control, of course, the delay feedback amount that controls how long the tones last. And I can undo that synchronization again with this knob here. So I can control them independently again. And then we have a dry wet on each side to listen to the original click sound. And we have gain control over both delay lines. So I can so the inputs are normed. If I put something into that input, would appear on that one. As soon as I plug in the cable, I can override the signal into the other delay. And that's true also for the 1 volt per octave inputs on both sides. Okay, so that's the controls. Is there more? Yeah, there's more question. The longest length I can possibly do with that is about, I would say, 100 milliseconds. But it depends very much what you think is still bearable in terms of noise, because these are analog bucket-brigade delays. We took a lot of care to actually make them sound less noisy. It took quite some iterations. I think we succeeded in making them less noisy. But you can actually send a negative voltage into the 1 volt per octave input to make them very long as well. Think half a second, maybe even a second. But then you're in the realms of experimental stuff. And clock noise is not such a big deal actually for this, but sampling rate will degrade. At some points it sounds nice. Some people might not love that too much. It depends really what is your aesthetic feeling for that. More questions? Yeah? Very good question. Thank you. It's actually not a physical model, not a true one. You can view certain configurations of it. You can interpret them physically. That extends to Kepler-Strong, of course, but also to other certain settings. There's another setting that I haven't talked about. You can actually make not only rotations, but also mirror reflections in the two delay lines, which is another mathematical approach. Again, there is no natural analog in all of those configurations, but in some there are. So Michael Gerzon, when he actually we extended the algorithm that Gerzon was introducing a little bit. When he thought about it as a reverb design, and he was trying to couple two rooms through an opening in the wall, more or less, two rooms of different sizes. And again, there is a physical analog, but not in all cases. But for me, this makes it even more interesting because it has physical behavior in many aspects, but in some it does not. And this kind of, goes over this area of physical simulation, which sometimes is, for me, aesthetically pleasing to listen to somehow. I have the feeling we answered all questions. Yes, please visit us at our booth. We are Chair Audio, the Center for Haptic Audio Interaction Research. You can try the Waveguide on little stations, hearing stations, dive into the sound world a little bit. We would be happy to see you. We are in the tent area down there. Thanks.